Okay, so getting straight into it, I've already moisturized and primed the skin. Because of this, it sometimes leaves the brows kind of oily. So I'm setting the brows with Maybelline's Fit Me powder in the number 35, making sure to get that all in her skin and brows. I then take my Morphe brow pencil in the color Chocolate Mousse and I line the tops and bottoms of her eyebrows. Be sure that when you're lining and filling in the brows that you're using a very light hand. When filling in the brows, you want to make sure you're using hair-like strokes. And what this means is basically just drawing lines instead of coloring per se, because you don't want that dark, harsh look. A lot of people ask, how do I get my brows to be so perfect? Literally, y'all, practice. Practice makes perfect. And you see here, I'm taking the spoolie end of that brow pencil and I'm just brushing and grooming the brows how I need them to go. And just remember, eyebrows are sisters, not twins. They do not have to be perfect. Make sure you guys check out the description below. I'm going to include all the brushes and products that I used in this video. Eyebrows are literally my favorite part of doing makeup. I left this part in here because I find it so satisfying. So I'm going to not talk over it and let y'all finish watching the brows. Okay, so next, to conceal the brows, I use the Tarte Shape Tape Concealer that is a mouthful in the number 53S, which is Sand Deep. I'm making sure that I use a generous amount and spread it evenly under the bottom of the brows. To make sure that the concealer is spreading generously, a tip that I use, a hack that I use, is to tap the brush. Tap that product in instead of raking it, because then you take away the product instead of keeping it there. Also, be sure to take your time. Slow and steady wins the race. I find that doing the tail of the brow first, the arch area, helps better for me because I can make sure I get that arch exactly how I want to. And then I do the front of the brow last, concealing it in a downward motion. Another tip when doing client work, step back a few times in between your work to make sure that you like the way it's looking. You give yourself different angles to see your work. Y'all, I am so into it. Look at my face. But I prefer doing brows first so that I can really take my time, and then if I need to rush through anything else, the foundation can be rushed, if anything. When I'm done concealing the eyebrow, what I like to do is go ahead and take that concealer all the way to the eyelid. This is going to act as my eyeshadow primer. If you have any questions about the video, make sure that you comment below. And if I'm bringing you some helpful tips, tricks, and techniques, make sure you like this video and subscribe to my channel. Okay, so once again, I'm going to bring that all the way down on the lid, and then I'm going to blend out that concealer with my Real Techniques brush. Be sure that when you're blending out the concealer that you pat and dab and that you don't drag the brush. Now I'm going to take the Morphe by Jaclyn Hill Volume 2 palette in the color Not My Journey, and I'm going to begin to pack that onto the eyelid. So when you pick up the color on the brush, you're going to make sure you knock that brush some so that you don't have so much fallout on the face. Okay, so now taking a smudge brush, I'm going to begin to blend out the edges of the shadow that I packed on. You see it's kind of that harsh line that formed. You're going to smooth that out by making circular motions. To blend out that lid, I'm using the same color. I'm not using a lighter color. I'm still going in with the Not My Journey. Another hack, lifting the brow helps get to the eyelid a little better. So once I have that blended out, I kind of took away from my lid a little bit. So I'm just going to go back on the lid and pack in a little more color. Another hack, when you use a makeup wipe to remove the under eye fallout, it takes away that moisturizer and primer that you used earlier. So to remove the fallout, use a spoolie. Okay, so here you see me setting the brows. I'm using the e.l.f. Clear Brow and Lash Mascara, but I'm using the brow side of that. Okay, so now going in with my Real Technique brush, I'm using Juvia's Place foundation in the number 130. This is Mally. Y'all, this is some full coverage stuff, okay? Meaning a little bit goes a long way. So I'm using this brush to apply the makeup, and then I'm going to take a damp beauty blender to just smooth it all out. So along with the beauty blender being damp, I also spray it with setting spray. I'm using Black Radiance. Y'all, I swear I was not being as rough as it seemed. And Maya has her face turned all the way. Y'all, we was running out of time. It got a little hectic in there. I'm not hitting her face that hard. And you're just going to keep going in with that beauty blender until the foundation looks smooth. Going in with that same concealer that I used for the eyebrows before, I'm going to use to place on her under eye, her chin, down the bridge of her nose, and the center of her forehead. Applying the concealer, you want to make sure you use a generous amount, but don't pack it on. You don't want it on the face too thick. When I blend out my concealer, I always make sure I blend out the edges first. This ensures that I don't have any harsh lines later on. When you're blending out the concealer, you do want to wait at least 1 to 2 minutes before you start blending it out to make sure that the concealer gets sort of tacky. But you also don't want to wait too long and let the concealer dry too much, because then it'll be hard to maneuver and blend it out. But a hack, if you wait too long and the concealer dries down too much, just spray your face with setting spray. Once I feel that I've blended out the edges to my liking, I go ahead again with that damp beauty blender, the other side, and I blend out the remaining of the concealer. When blending out the concealer on the bridge of the nose, you want to make sure you pinch that beauty blender as thin as possible. They also have smaller beauty blender sponges for tighter, smaller areas. When blending out the concealer under the eye, you want to make sure you have your client look up. This avoids creasing. Here, you'll see me setting the nose, the bridge of the nose, and I'm using that Maybelline Fit Me setting powder in the number 35, the same we use for the eyebrows. To contour and snatch the nose, I'm going to use my Black Radiance contour palette. This is the dark to deep palette, and I'm mixing the contour and the sculpt shades. Taking it up the bridge of the nose into the eyebrow some, making that contour look as natural as possible. I didn't go in with a cream contour because I didn't want a sharp or harsh looking cheekbone. So I went straight in with that Black Radiance contour palette once again, using the contour and the sculpt shades. Just like I set the nose with that powder, with the setting powder, I'm going to go back in everywhere that I placed that cream contour, and I'm going to set it. And that is, once again, the Maybelline Fit Me in the number 35. The key to a flawless beat, y'all, is to blend. When in doubt, blend it out. To avoid creasing under the eye, you want to make sure you have your client look up the entire time you are setting the under eye. I'm going to use my white NYX liner and put this in her waterline. So that I don't mess up the work that I just did on her face, I'm going to use my sponge to help pull her eyelid down. Okay, y'all, so it kind of gets crazy here. We were trying to rush. She had to get dressed. My camera died. But I'm using espresso in the NYX lip liner to line her lips. And then with the NYX lip lingerie, I'm going to be using the color Corset for the inside of her lips to create that ombre. Once again, I'll have all makeup details listed below. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask in the comments. Also, if you feel like I gave you some bomb techniques, go ahead and like this video and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Thank you for watching and be sure to add me on Instagram.